Don't ask yourself what the world needs. Ask yourself what makes you come alive and go do that, because what the world needs are people who have come alive. All right, welcome back to the Good Life Lab. I'm Dr. Dave, and this is a channel where we experiment and explore with tools, tips, and techniques for improving our lives. I've been a therapist and college professor for over 3 decades now. My next step in life is to be this YouTuber and content creator where I share my life experience, things that I've been through to help improve my own well-being, but also what I've done with my clients and how this might be of help to you as well. So we're in the midst of this series. This is day 2 of what I'm calling kind of moving from languishing and feeling lost to living a good, meaningful, gay, happy, and queer life. Yesterday, I introduced myself and some of the projects and experiences that I've been through to help me figure out my own life. Today, I'm going to introduce you to the Good Life Positioning System and the heart of that system, which I've developed an acronym around called COMPASS, COMPASS. I'm going to walk you through an overview of those coordinating points, each of those letters and what they stand for. And then the remaining part of this month, I'm going to highlight each one and give you both theory and research behind each point, that why it's so important, and then also practical steps for how to implement this and apply this to your life. So let's go ahead and get into it. COMPASS, COMPASS. The C stands for clues and coordinating points. So actually each of these letters stands for a coordinating point. Like in a GPS, you need at least 3 coordinating points to figure out where you are on the globe. And I'm giving you 7 coordinating points to help you figure out where you are or where you want to be in terms of your life plan, your purpose, your meaning in life. So C stands for clues and coordinating points. And it's really a mindset shift. I came across this concept of breadcrumb clues, or where the breadcrumbs are leading me, some time ago. I was eating lunch at Panera Bread with a friend of mine, and we're both kind of in a place of, I think, languishing. You know, we're, 20 years apart, I think, but we were both feeling a little lost at the time. And one of the questions he posed to me is like, where are the breadcrumbs leading you? Which I hadn't really heard of before or thought of before in that way. Like, where's life leading me? And what are some of the clues that might be guiding me, or what am I following to figure things out? And so I've taken that on over the last 20 years as this mindset, this paradigm shift a little bit, and trying to pay attention to those things that come across my path. So that's what the clue stands for. It's this mindset of being open to what life has for me, listening to messages and everyday events that in conversations or books or things that life might be trying to tell me that I need to pay attention to. So it's growing an awareness of these clues that life has for me. So the O in the compass stands for your origin story. So there's a lot of research about story and its impact on us, both our mental health and well-being, but also how it could help us reframe our past, understand our past, reframe what's happened to us, and then also plan for a future. And reframing our life story as a heroic journey, which research has shown that if we can see life as a heroic journey, that has an impact on our mental health and well-being, just that act. So part of the O in COMPASS is understanding our history, but also reframing our story as a heroic journey. M stands for what makes you come alive. I love this quote that helped me frame this point, which is, don't ask yourself what the world needs. Ask yourself what makes you come alive and go do that, because what the world needs are people who have come alive. That shifts things for me a little bit from trying to figure out my calling or purpose based on just what people might need in the world or what I feel obligated to do in some way, and flips it around to first starting with what am I passionate about? What makes me come alive? And then looking for needs that I can fill in the world based on that passion, those things that make me come alive. So that's really important to think about. And how I get at this passion is the life list that I've talked about, starting this life list for yourself. What are the dreams, the ideas, the passions, the things that make you come alive. What are those for you? And begin to jot those down. And the P in Compass stands for powers and personal strengths. We all have these unique abilities and skills that we've developed, both innate and things that we've begun to hone over time. And when we get to this in our series, we'll talk about those, how to understand what our strengths are, and then how to assess for those, and how to lean into those, because research shows that if you can not only identify your top strengths, but then practice them, you'll not only be happier, but more successful in your goals and accomplishments. The A in Compass stands for allies, which includes your tribe, your chosen family, but also accountability. So you're looking for people that you can connect with, but that also might hold you accountable to some of these things that you're learning. So a part of this journey might be you do this series with somebody else, a couple of people over Zoom, or invite them to your home and you kind of walk through this series together. Doing something like this within a community can be essential, really. You can do it by yourself, but if you want to find ways to make sure you're doing it in terms of keeping you accountable, but also getting feedback from people about your strengths and what you might be best at, that could be best in a community. So think about that as we get along in this journey. Begin to identify some allies you have, and then also how you can recruit them to support you in this process. All right, so the S in the compass, the first S, is your sacred anchors and core values. For your success, research has shown that if you can identify and then also align your life with your core values, what's most important to you, what you believe is important in life, that will also help you be more successful and bring more meaning to your life. If you're out of alignment with your values and you're doing something you just hate or is against your integrity, that obviously will impact your feeling of success in that area or even your meaning in life. So it's important to identify your core values and then live according to those values. The final S in this acronym stands for a symphony of self-care and service. It's really starting with your own mental health and well-being and identifying maybe needs that you have that may also resonate with the needs of people in the world that you want to work with. An example of this is kind of what I'm doing. I've come from a background where I've struggled with my identity as a gay man. And so that's been a big gap in my life, or an area of my life that I struggled with for a long time. And that's the audience that I want to work with. I think I have the most I can offer that audience. So that's one example of identifying your own needs, what's made you who you are, and then also how can that translate into helping people in the world around you. And that's also very much a part of figuring out what's meaningful in life and what you want to do, what your purpose is in life, is identifying your unique needs, but then also how those can be used to help other people in the world. So these 7 stages that I've just mentioned form the compass. I think it's also important to note at this point that I'd come up with this out of thin air, this compass, this GLPS system. It's come from hard-fought, hard-won battles in my own life, seasons, years, and even decades of struggle that have forced me to figure things out in my own way. And a lot of that has come, as I mentioned, in creating these projects based on the compass process that I've mentioned. So I've seen tremendous progress in my own life, and I want to share that with others who might be struggling or be on the same journey, but need a little assistance to move forward. Each of these short videos that I'll be sharing with you over the next 21 days, I provide some of my own story, my own background, some science to back up what I'm saying, but then practical steps. So the next step in this process is to just write down compass and then what each of those letters means in your journal. And as a reminder to you to keep coming back to that, these are like breadcrumb clues to help you navigate where you want to go. And so reminding yourself of these coordinating points, these clues, can be a good first step in taking you forward. Do what you can to keep the compass framework in mind. Maybe you can put it on a sticky note, or keep it in your journal, like I said, but maybe there's other ways for you to reinforce that in your own life over the next 21 days. So tomorrow, we'll dig a little deeper into this first part of Compass, clues and coordinating points, and how it's a shift in mindset and how you can go about kind of looking at life a little differently to set you up for the next stages of Compass and how they can help you navigate life to a more meaningful and good queer life. And if you haven't already, don't forget to pick a specific time during your day where you have at least 30 minutes to think about these things that I'll be sharing with you. Because not only do you want to kind of watch these videos, but you want to begin to respond to some of the prompts I have. And so be sure to look at the description below. I'll reinforce some of the questions I'm asking during this video. But be sure to take that 30 minutes and be consistent with yourself for 21 days. I think it could be the start of something maybe a significant change if you can commit to at least 30 minutes a day to do this. I think it's also important to note that this model, this approach is not just based on my experience and also working with clients. I've actually conducted a pilot study with up to 50 people in small groups doing pre and post tests and measuring basic happiness and life satisfaction, purpose, meaning. And they've seen significant changes in those areas over just 7 weeks. So I know this is possible to make a difference in my life and other people's lives I've worked with, but also through this research study they've done. As I close for this second day, don't forget to look at the description below for more details about what to do. But primarily, if you haven't already, get a journal, set aside 30 minutes a day, begin to jot down ideas in your journal, things that you're passionate about, that you want to learn more about, that you want to just experiment with in terms of your life's purpose and calling. And then write down the Compass acronym and spell it out as a reminder of the coordinating points that we'll be talking about. All right, I will see you tomorrow for day 3 of this series in helping you move from feeling maybe a little bit of lostness and languishing to living a good, gay, happy, and queer life. Have a great rest of your day.